All right. Hopefully this thing's working. We'll see. So we're back in my parents' neighborhood, and I'm walking down to a big old pond down here where I saw a gator the other day. Just trying to see if maybe we catch a swamp puppy that's still out getting warm. It took a while for it to get warm today. So we'll see. Any luck, we'll find a swamp puppy sitting out. Probably on one of the banks. And maybe just hang out with them for a while. Otherwise, this is basically just me kind of getting myself back in shape. My feet are still healing well. Just kind of waiting for the final bit of healing to be done. But as I've learned, I'm getting a little bit older, so it takes some time. It doesn't look like I got that picture on the frame quite there, but it looks like you can see Jack at the bottom. That's good enough for now. I'll have to look into this app and see how the positioning of things goes. Plus, the image does not look like it has a transparent background, which is, it's supposed to have a transparent background, so we'll look at that. I should already be mic'd up. It's kind of a windy day, so I just said let's just start with the mic on. So as you can see, we're coming up to the pond here, and saw a fairly good-sized gator here. So I'm hoping that it's out here sunning itself. There's a big old turtle. I don't know if you can see it. There's a big old turtle swimming around right down in here, swimming out. It looked like a big old soft shell. It's coming up again. Yeah, that's a soft shell. See the little beady eyes? See if I can zoom this in. This view does not work like the other one did. There we go. Try to keep it. He went back down. Just peeked up, saw a little beady eyes in the nose. That's a soft shell for you. There it is again. There's a big old soft shell out there. It's swimming around. He's right up in here. Now they are shy, very, very shy. So yeah, as soon as I started moving, he went back under, started swimming. Oh, there's two of them. There's one closer to us here. Okay, so we got a couple big old soft shells in here. There's one over there again. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how well these are going to get picked up. Because the other advantage I have is I'm always wearing these polarized sunglasses. And the reason I love polarized sunglasses is specifically for things like this, where I can see right through this water. You can see all these little tiny fish right here at the edge. Looks like little, guppies. I don't see. I just spoke too soon. I see one right there. So try to center you guys on it. There's my finger. See him? We got a little swamp puppy. This is another little one. Not what I was expecting to find. So And that is the proper swamp puppy reaction, the oh shit, I'm out of here. That is tiny. That is probably a 3 foot, maybe stretching it to 4. So there we go. Kind of a success. I thought I'd find a swamp puppy here. I was hoping for the bigger one I saw. But there you go. That's basically what they do. They just lay there and you can't even see them. Yeah, they look like a big old black log or something sitting there. Hopefully the microphone and everything are working correctly. I made some changes to the settings on my phone and tried to make it, work a little better. That's why I love that lazy swim right there. Got the tail powering it along. Yeah, that's a little tiny one. That's even smaller than the one we did find the other time we were out here, so a little disappointing. But I guess on the other side, it's a good sign. We have adolescents that are growing up out here. Now, they are territorial and they will fight each other off, so this adolescent will not be tolerated if there is a big one here, which big one could be mommy. But this one I would say is probably born a year, maybe 2 years after the other one we saw. So, just a little adolescent hanging out. And he's just going to sit there and wait for me to leave. It's like, I want to get in the sun and get warm, damn it. And the silver-haired people roll by in their golf cart behind us. There you go. So he let the body fall down. He's like probably putting his tail against the bottom. Oh, there's a trip I should do. So we'll move on. This one might come back up to a spot where it's sunning itself up. Dove back down as I walked away. And returns further out in the water. See, that is the proper swamp puppy reaction. They're shy. They don't come after you. If you come up on one, unless it's breeding season, they're going to run. They're going to dive for deeper water. They're an ambush predator, and arguably, as long as you're not a child, like a toddler, then they're gonna run. That's what they do. They're shy, and if you have a decent size, you're a decently sized human being, then they're gonna duck and cover when they see you come up. Very curious what this is. So this could be something from the hurricane that got left in here. There was a lot of that in this neighborhood. Basically, people just kind of took care of what they had to take care of, and they didn't say shit about a lot of stuff they left out here. I'm heading further down because there is an exit drain for this pond and some more reeds and stuff around it. So there's the possibility we'll find another swamp puppy. I'm also trying to keep an eye on that far bank, like over there. I know it's in the shade under that tree, but that's essentially somebody's backyard or something that we're looking at there, but it is possible. And gator came back up and has a high back position now. But that takes effort. They gotta kind of swim or doggy paddle essentially to keep themselves afloat like that. So we'll keep going. See if we come across another one. It is unlikely that we'll find another one in the same pond, but since that's just a little tiny adolescent, it is possible there'd be an adult in here as well. That's what's sort of throwing me off. That's the second tiny adolescent that we've come across. The other one was a little bit bigger. Like I said, probably a year or two older was the other swamp puppy that we came across. Don't particularly like this. I got a lot of golf carts driving past me here. So what I'm looking for is essentially the same kind of thing. We're going to find a big black lump sitting there. People have this misunderstanding. They think gators are green. They're not green, they're black. Okay? What they become green from is essentially all the stuff in the water, the algae, things like that. Because when you got a big animal that just sits there doing nothing, stuff grows on you, you know? I think we're kind of out of luck. Like I was saying, this is kind of the side, the sunny side. The far side over there would have gotten the sun later in the day. So another gator would have probably been on this side. And I am not seeing any signs that there's a second one around here. Keep looking around the bank because they do blend in very well. But I have a feeling we're going to have better luck if we go back and just walk that old abandoned golf course again. So it's going to be a little bit of a walk to get there if you'll bear with me. And the other thing was those big soft shell turtles that are in here. That's a little bit of a surprise. They should be basically being eaten by the gators. So our big one probably moved on to a different pond. So that's another thing. They are going to circulate between the ponds. I don't know what makes a gator switch ponds, but this is kind of the entertaining one. You'll see them like walking around, you know, just out here in your neighborhood, you know, climbing a fence or something. Yes, they can climb fences. Where'd our little baby go? I don't see it. You come back up to your sunny spot. Where'd you go off to find another one? Oh, yep, there it was. So it was basically trying to reclaim the same sunny spot it was in. There it is, popping up out there in the water again. Let's get another final shot of you, yeah? So I don't know if it was because of the portrait view I was using the last time, but that's where I figured out how to get this thing to pop over to landscape view, because last time I was not able to get any clips of our encounter with the adolescent swamp puppy. And this one is an adolescent as well. This is probably a few years old. I'd have to look at their growth rates to be more specific. But at least we found a little one. A little disappointing because the one I saw down here was, I would say, a 7-foot gator. So definitely a lot bigger than this. This is, I don't know, best guesstimate a 3-foot gator. You know, it's small. And the way you can tell, or the way you're supposed to tell, is you look from where the eyes bump up to where the nose bumps up, and you try to picture that distance in inches. Obviously, it's also kind of hard to tell being far away and whatnot, but when you get closer to them, it's a little easier. And yeah, so there we go. We got another swamp puppy. Let's head back to the other side. We'll let the swamp puppy get warm. It was a cool morning, so finding that one kind of gives me hope that we'll also find other ones. But yeah, I was looking at Google Maps, and I was trying to figure out like some other watering holes I can walk to around here. The hazard being that a lot of them are largely like ponds that are somebody's backyard, or you know, things along those lines. I don't want to be in somebody's backyard necessarily, you know. They probably wouldn't care, wouldn't mind. There's some dark smoke up there ahead. Looks like there's a fire burning somewhere. But yeah, we'll head back. We'll walk the old abandoned golf course because at least that, I don't know. I guess I don't know who really owns the abandoned golf course. Somebody does because obviously they pay a service to come out and maintain it. You know, it's only slightly overgrown because some sort of lawn service comes around and hits it up. Yeah, so we had a little baby. But that one had the proper response. That one took off when we got close. That is a gator that is not being fed, that is not being taught that humans are friends. You know. Oh, that's funny. See that? This person's yard is astroturf. Fake grass. Interesting. Not sure why you would do that. And we got one of the many services coming up and parking up here. Blocking up. They don't really have a choice. They got to park somewhere. So. How you doing? Bright View Landscape Services. Alright, yeah. Landscaping crew is there to do some landscaping for somebody. That is the hard thing about kind of this area, this neighborhood. All this is pretty much maintained by services and people. You know, I forget, I'm gonna have to ask my dad again, but I think he was telling me the average age of the people who live here is like 84. That's average. Okay. You have to be 55 or older to own a property in here. And that goes for all of Sun City Center. Every neighborhood or whatever that you find, if it's in Sun City Center, Florida, you have to be 55 plus in order to own the property. I see an ibis way up there. Somebody's sprinklers are on. I wonder if they're testing it. That's how it says there's sprinklers on too. It's a little unusual to see sprinklers going in the daytime. Now, it is spring. We haven't gotten that hot yet, but essentially you want your sprinklers to run at night in Florida because the sun just cooks the water off and your plants don't get any. So, you know, it defeats the purpose. I had a neighbor when I lived down in Cape Coral. He watered his yard like ridiculous amount. And at first, I didn't understand because we were under a water restriction. The city council in Cape Coral said, you know, if your address ends with this number or that number, you can only water on Tuesdays, and these other numbers you can only water on Thursdays, you know, stuff like that. It was fully regulated. But then I learned the reason that our neighborhood or our area where I was living at the time was an exception was because we were not on the city water. We were all on well systems, and you know, the well system, your water is yours, you do what you want. So that's where that guy had the greenest yard in a neighborhood where essentially a whole bunch of the properties were just vacant lots. So I like this neighborhood for the most part. It's being near the road I don't really care for, as we got a lot of traffic and whatnot. But if we go in to the abandoned golf course areas here, I think we'll have better luck. I did switch my phone, my gimbal, whatever it is controlling it. Yeah, gimbal, I guess. I told it to kind of fuck off with the it kept trying to track I don't know what. Like it would just pick something in front of me and track it. So I did finally figure out how to get the gimbal to basically go with my movements. Hello. Hey, Wolverine. Nice to see you. It's hard to see my chat. That's the only thing with this app I still have to really work on that I wasn't able to figure out a solution between the last IRL stream and this one. That's weird. There's a service truck back here. So if anybody wasn't here from the first time, this is hole 5 of the abandoned golf course. And oh, this is all freshly mowed. You can see the patterns from where they've mowed through here. So maybe this guy's part of that service that comes out and takes care of this thing. I do wonder who owns it. At one point, I was told that it's owned by a lawn mowing company, and that they were actually growing different types of grass on different parts of this abandoned course in an attempt to develop new types of lawnmowers or something. But as far as I know, there's nobody local we have to worry about. Here, give me a 3-month sub. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that very much. I still have to work out setting up alerts for the IRL thing. So I want to do like sound alerts and of course subs and things, so I know what's going on a little bit. That's nice walking through the shade. Still feels pretty cool though to me. Don't like it. Not quite that much. Better in the sun. We're still in springtime, so. Oh, and I have exclamation mark weather. Sun City Center is where I'm at. If you're curious about what my weather's like. Yeah, the wind's coming right at us off of this pond. There's a swamp puppy. We've got a winner. This is a bigger one. Let me zoom you guys in if I can. There you go. That's a better size right there. So try to get closer. Looks like just napping in the sun, getting warm, doing what swamp puppies do. I really can't tell if the eyes are open or closed. But again, this is kind of on the small side. Not a big monster gator or anything like that. But definitely bigger than the other two we've come across. Yep, just did ear alerts the other day. Okay. Yeah, so I have everything set up for the PC side of things. Doing all this through the phone for this IRL side, I'm still learning. I'm still figuring it out. But yeah, we've got a decent sized gator just up sunning itself. This is why I love Florida. Like, people always act like you have to be terrified of these things, but they really are just swamp puppies. You know, they're cute. They're relatively harmless. You know, don't feed them. I don't know. Really, I can't think of ways that you can get yourself in trouble with a gator other than if it's breeding season. If it's breeding season, they are all kinds of territorial, and they're not going to tolerate you at all. But that's a decent size. That's 6-7 foot maybe. Nice young adult, I would say. Actually, we'll zoom out until I get around here. I'm hoping it'll stay. And as I say that, it immediately says, nope, you're getting too close. That's a swamp puppy. Hopefully you can see it swimming up. So that was not asleep. I was awake and like, nope, the human's getting too close. I'm running. Typical swamp puppy. Good reaction from the swamp puppy. That adolescent the other day, that threw me off so badly. That thing coming up to me and chirping at me. Like, I swear that thing was expecting me to feed it or something, and that's illegal if I haven't made that clear. Not allowed to touch them, not allowed to feed them. You know, basically let swamp puppy do swamp puppy and you go do you. But you know, it is kind of cool. You can just walk around and find them. I have a hard time seeing my screen right now, so I'm trying to figure out if I have you guys looking at the right thing. I think so. But yeah, so that's a better size. Try to keep it in the shot if I can. Maybe wipe my screen off or something. This sun brings out fingerprints like nothing else. All right, little wipey. That didn't make anything any better. Shade? Yeah, shade kind of works. I put my hand up so I can shade the camera or shade the phone. But yeah, it's so weird. It's so hard to see my screen right now. I gotta look at settings again. Oh, it's asking me to like lock it in. But yeah, that's not what I'm trying to do. Yeah. Mic's on, camera's on. I'm trying to figure out the settings here, so. Hey, mothballed, where's the gator? Well, we scared it into the water, so it's just kind of laying here. I just saw it's trash or something, I think. I'll go around to the side. Maybe that'll give us a better. Didn't mean to scare it in, but we did. It was sunny itself, warming up. It was a cool morning, so. See if I can see better now. Yeah, I really messed it up when I wiped the screen. Expecting an alligator to jump out of the pond. No, they're shy. Crocs will jump after you. Crocs are the aggressive assholes of the two. Gators, that's why I call them swamp puppies. I do call Crocs swamp puppies too, but gators are shy. Gators are an ambush predator. They're not going to chase after you. You know, um, trying to figure. I need to bring a cloth with me so I can wipe the screen better. Oop, my pocket knife just came off. It's attached to my shirt apparently. But yeah, let's see if I can wipe the screen up so I can see what you guys are seeing a little better. Trying. Oh god, that just brought across a whole mode change or something. That's not what I'm trying to do. The sun, phone does feel hot in the sun. Trying. That's the right piece of growth. I zoomed in too much, didn't I? Let's just see. Step one, find it in this shot. God, they do blend in really well though. So that should. Oh, zoomed in so much. And this is where it gets tricky with the gimbal. Jump in and tackle it. Yeah, no, I jump in, he's just got to swim away like ha ha ha. So I am too big, and it is too small, and kind of cool. I don't know if you can see the fish as well. This is throwing me off because we're in landscape mode here. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, there's. Aha, there we go. Right there. There's your head. There's your gator. Nice and zoomed in. Yeah. Just chilling. It was just out here sunning itself, getting good and warm. It's a nice cool morning today, so yeah, there's the gator, and then right over here, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. That's why I wish I could get. I have to look into if there's like a way to polarize the phone camera because I can see them really well. But there's a whole bunch of fish just hanging out there, and we've got our gator. So again, it's a bit bigger size. I'd say probably a 7 footer. So probably on the young adult side of things. And the other one that's kind of nice this time is our lily pads have been blooming. All the blooms were gone the last time we came out. So we'll let Swamp Puppy enjoy Swamp Puppy life. Could walk around this pond. I am going to kind of be in some people's backyards, but I don't think they're going to say anything about it. So we'll give it a shot. I want to see if we come across another swamp puppy. It's a big pond, big, huge one, so it's possible that they would be sharing it. They tend to be territorial, but they will tolerate each other as well. So something digging around on the bank here. A lot of holes over here. A lot of holes. I don't think that's something digging for food. I think something's actually making homes on the edge there. Yeah, we'll see. We might come across another one. Off to bed. All right, Mothball, have a good one. I do have to figure out how to do shout outs as well, set up the alerts. Multiple things. So this is IRL stream number 2 where I'm learning the gimbal. I'm learning the app that I'm using, the Prism Live app. Oh, shells. So this water might be on the fresh side of things. Probably is on the fresh side of things. But it also might be salty enough for stuff to live in. Because we get sort of a combination, call it brackish water here in Florida, where essentially it's fresh enough for freshwater things to live in and it's salty enough for some saltwater things to live in. I do see a promising black shape further up the bank. It might be nothing, but it could be a second swamp puppy sharing this large watering hole. No, these are black drainage pipes I see. So yeah, there's a drainage pipe here in the front, and I think that's another one in the back. I want to go around to are those reeds over there. That's funny. What's that? Oh, there's a big fish that owns that. I just saw it swim out. I don't know if you're able to see that, but that big circle in the water there was a big fish that swam out of it. So some big fish has said, "This is my home." Oh, here we go. You see this one? See that fish right there? It's in the middle of the shot, just chilling there. Can't really tell what it is. I guess would be tilapia. Now, tilapia are an invasive species. Oh yeah, there's multiple. There we go. There's another one. Okay, zoom. There's our one right here in the front, looking right at us. Oh, and the other one already took off. Dang. Okay, disappointment. But there's a nest right behind it. This actually is the nest for this one right here. You can see the circle, the sort of the hole it dug out. These are tilapia. Tilapia do that. They make these nests, these little dugouts. I never understood why, because they put them, well, they put them at the edge like this, and the problem is that where they build the nest tends to be too close to the shore, and then it dries out on them, and they gotta build another one. But yeah, I was gonna go back to the lily pads. Some people don't like lily pads. I've heard complaints about them, but lily pads in general kind of depends on what you're looking for, but they're a good sign normally. It means you got healthy water. Now, the problem with lily pads is if your pond is healthy and the water doesn't move around enough, they will take over a pond and kill it. But in general, a few lily pads is a good sign. There's another pond back here. Hello. Second pond. I'm glad we walked around. I was looking on Google Maps. I was wondering where these were. Now we found one. Oh, there goes a big, is that an anhinga? Yeah, it's an anhinga flying away. Okay. We'll head over there in a moment. I'm just checking this bank. Oop, that's a big log. For a moment I thought I spotted a gator chilling under the water there. They will do that. They just go down and basically chill a little deeper, cooling off. It's basically what a gator does in the daytime. Just get out in the sun, warm up, get down in the water, cool off, and just regulate themselves. I wish I could walk along this backside, but as you can see, that's pretty overgrown, and we would probably just be stomping through swampy marsh area because that has definitely not been maintained, so there's probably no real bank to walk on there. I was just kind of hoping there might be something tucked away in the corner, but kind of looks like no such luck. It was nice finding that other gator, so success. We found 2 swamp puppies on one trip. Let's see if we can find a third. Alright, so, wow, that looks deep. See how dark that water is? Oh, good sized fish. Don't know if we caught that swimming away there. That also looks like a big freaking tilapia. Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah, okay. There's this big old nest right there. Or at least somebody was digging out what was going to be a nest. I don't see a fish around it right now. So, I'm looking at right now, actually you guys can't see, is this big dirt area down here. Kind of looking up and down that for tracks, slide marks, those kinds of things. That's where I have to remind everybody once again, this is, somebody's backyard essentially that we're standing in, so somebody comes out yelling at me, I'll tell them to fuck off, but I probably should leave if they do. And our old friend, the Spanish moss. Now this stuff, whoop. So I step in, more holes, something's been digging. So I wanted to show you guys this stuff right here. It's so great, it's dry. And if you're ever out in the real wilderness and you have Spanish moss, if you take it from a hanging tree like this, this stuff is perfect for your tender needs. I don't think that's a gator. Spotted a dark log or something there for a moment. It's a problem with, basically spotting these things in Florida is many times you're going to stop yourself and go, oh, there's something there. And nah, it's just a log or whatever. This bank is really soft over here. This is kind of what I wanted to test a little bit. So I'm walking around the backside on purpose because I don't want to be close to those people's houses. The hell is that in the corner over there? Let's see if we can zoom in. Well, even with the zoom, actually goes on a 5x zoom there. And all right, we'll go back to 1x. So maybe something in the corner there. I don't know. There's that guy standing around, walking around over there too. No idea what he's up to. He's an unusual one. You don't see the people coming out of their homes a lot here. Not in the middle of the day anyway. They usually wait for the evening, or they come out early morning. Because, like I said, it is springtime here in Florida. We're probably sitting at about 80 degrees, I'd guess. Maybe a little less. The shade is very cool still. Not digging being in the shade too much. But kind of felt like, yeah, the camera's still warm. I guess it's fine. Phone. So, ooh, hello, pretty. Even if it is an invasive species. There you guys go. That's another tilapia sitting in its nest. That is a full, big ol' tilapia. I'd like to hook that and cook it for dinner. If you don't know, tilapia, by the way, I always laugh. They used to sell them in the store as Nile perch. They have nothing to do with the Nile, but by making the fish sound exotic, they got people to buy it at the market. Now, of course, everybody will just buy tilapia. You know, people like it. That is pretty coloring on it too. Hopefully you can see it. The blue in the face and on the fins, the red tail. Thing coming right over to me, huh? A little bit surprised. Probably doesn't see me. I'm staying in the shade. But yeah, that's a really good sized tilapia. Probably a couple of really good fillets off of that. Like I said, it's an invasive species. Way too far gone to do anything about it. You know, they are here to stay now. Oh, there's another pretty one. Let's see if I can get out from under this tree. All right. Oh, two of them. Oh, that one just took off like a shot. There's basically your lighter coloring. I lost it. It's right there. Yeah. And it went to go by its buddy. There's our other one coming back over here. What I wanted to point out was that one. See that nice dark one there? And as it turns, you see sort of the light hitting the strapping on it. So yeah, this is a pond that is let's say heavily infested with tilapia. So this is really ideal for our swamp puppy friends. It's a lot of food source in here for them. I am curious about that dark shape on the far corner. That is a deep nest. Holy crap. But yeah, it's basically what tilapia do. They take mouthfuls of dirt and dig themselves a hole to nest in. Oh, that was perfect. I don't know if you could see it. That one just spit out some dirt. That one right there. It's making its nest. I was hoping to see it maybe do it again, but it looks like it's going to swim off or swim around a bit. I don't lie. I mean, they're pretty fish. It just annoys me because essentially there's a lot of other fish that could be here, and instead we end up with this because the tilapia tend to outcompete our local fish for food sources. I guess outcompete and outbreed would be the best way to put it. Oh, and there we've got some more water holes. I wonder, we'll go check that out in a minute. I want to go check this far corner first. That looks pretty cool though. I like the reeds and the way that's all overgrown. It looks promising. So we're not really on the abandoned golf course anymore at this point. I'm not gonna lie. We're just kind of following where these water holes are. Another pretty tilapia there. That's even bigger than the other one. Man, I need to bring my fishing lures and set some casts out here. See if we get some big old tilapia caught. There's probably a thing saying no fishing here though. A lot of the ponds in this neighborhood, that's the rule. There's no fishing allowed. Nice little wooden bridge that somebody put in. I don't know why that's here, honestly. It's a little bit confusing. Another big fish. There's a lot of big fish just chilling around in here. Our mystery in the corner is a man-made thing. I see a garden hose running into it. What is that? My aquaculture side of me is very curious. I have a hose running into some PVC piping that's on the board. It's got a little circular anchor thing tied up to it. It's like somebody built themselves a little fountain thing. And there's a rope. You can see along the bank here, going through all these hooks, little string rope, twine, I guess. But yeah, this crate with the garden hose and stuff, that's what was catching my eye from the far distance. It's interesting. Looks like somebody basically made themselves a little fountain thing. Yeah, okay. So we zoom in. And you see the holes on this PVC piping on the top. So yeah, they turn the hose on and that thing becomes a little fountain in the pond. I'm guessing the thing in the box in the corner is our water pump. So it's basically taking the pond water and pumping it through a PVC thing to make a fountain happen. Guess I have to ask my dad and whatnot, my dad and my mom, about the legalities of things, because generally speaking, putting that much man-made crap out here would be not allowed. That's why the fishing is not allowed. Oh, I didn't even see that. We had a no swimming sign. No swimming. All right, Mom. We won't go swimming in the gator hole. I want to get a better look at that. Actually, yeah, it's a picture of a gator on there. We have not seen a swamp puppy in this hole, but it could be out deep, cooling down. Might have already gotten warm. Basic rule of thumb in Florida, I would say from Orlando on south, if there is a body of water, even if it's just like a really big puddle, there's probably a gator in it. No swimming and no trespassing. Oh, okay. So there we go. I missed that. Somebody put up a sign. That's okay. We're not trespassing. We're just passing through. Like I said, I don't think anybody's going to really care or try to stop us from doing what we're doing. We're not bothering anything. We're just going for a walk and checking out the surrounding area. Now that, or should say these, I don't know. Is it one continuous? It is one continuous, isn't it? But this is real gator hole type material right here. Hey, greasy fingers. Overlay, made it this time. Yeah, kind of, sort of. It's supposed to have a transparent background, and I wasn't able to position it because once I put it on the screen, it's in the corner where I can't actually grab it without like closing the app. So I'll have to sit down off stream and try to figure that overlay thing out some more. And I've got to figure out alerts. I want to be able to do sound alerts and things. Yeah, this is prime right here. All these reeds. I have not seen this. Or it was overgrown when I was looking at Google Maps. Because this looked like it was all grass back here. Now I'm remembering this part of the map. This looked like all grass, so I'm assuming the reeds were all filling it all in. They might have a service that comes out and maintains it a little bit, because these banks are still decent. Best guess, somebody cares for it a little bit. Kind of like the abandoned golf course, but a little less care than the abandoned golf course is given. Gator hunting. I don't know. I think you have to buy tags, and never really looked into gator hunting, honestly. I just like gators. They're usually, a pretty cool thing. It's not a bad idea. Gator does taste good. But as far as I know, there's still a lot of legal stuff protecting them. So we pretty much nearly wiped them out. And then I know the population's good and strong now, but I don't know if any of the restrictions have been lifted or if they're still super protected or a lot of stuff. I gotta look into that. Oh, there's a sign. I can't see what it says, but it's facing the water. This is a genius idea. Oh, wrong button. Yeah. Damn it. There we go. No swimming, no trespassing. Well, very good for them to tell the gators that, huh? All right. I mean, literally. There's the bottom of the sign. We're on the edge of the bank. Like, are you telling us or are you telling the gators? That makes no damn sense. I don't know. I'd face it sideways, I guess. Maybe slap a sign on both sides of the post. Oh, this is nice. Big old pond. Oh, the reeds growing up into full-on bobtails back there. There's another great fire source for if you're ever out in the wilderness here. It is preferable to find them when they're kind of fully grown, dead, dried out, that kind of thing, but usually the bobtail itself is pretty good. I'll stop in the shade here where I can see chat better. Go back closer. I want to stare in its eye. Overlay made it this time. Yeah. In America, someone hasn't put out a sign. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of the two things I really need to sort out with this IRL setup is being able to see my chat better. Like right now when I'm out in the sun. If I stop in the shade, sure, phone's easier to see. But that's basically just kind of me vaguely training myself up for doing this. So if you're ever curious, zoom this back out to the other shot. That is what Florida wilderness looks like for the most part. Overgrown, you got your ferns, brambles, maybe a little path going into it. That's an oak tree, by the way. Oak trees are protected here. You gotta call out a special service if you want your oak trees trimmed or removed. But yeah, that's always kind of cracks me up when people think like, oh, it's Florida, it's all palm trees and sandy beaches. It's like, no, no, we're scrubland. And scrubland is a lot of thorny, prickly plants and things. Oh my god. Somebody's smoking some good. Oh, that smells delicious. Alright, moving on. But yeah, this is the developed shit. So I'm hoping we'll have some signal. And I want to go out to Little Manatee River State Park. It's not far from where we are now, actually. But I think that's the closest kind of big park and preserve kind of thing that I can think of in my area. And we'll do some hiking out there. Hopefully the signal will maintain. And hopefully the settings I made to the changes on the phone. So that's pretty. Look at that. Oh, the purple. Oh, the purple bloomage in there. Yeah. This is essentially prime for gators to just live in there because nothing else is going to get in there. Hello, dragonfly. Hi, dragonfly. I love dragonflies. Dragonflies at every stage of their life. I want to draw attention here. There's a little hole. See the dragging. Something crawled through and is in the reeds out there. But yeah, I love dragonflies because dragonflies, every stage of their life, they eat mosquitoes. There's the bobtails at the top. They don't look too good for the most part, but it'll do. Bring one over for you. This is what you want. It's this nice, fluffy, and that is firm right there. See if I can grab this other one without getting into the mud. So I'm not wearing those kinds of shoes. There we go. That's a big, thicker, nice one there. All right. Come here. Oh, perfect. That's what I'm talking about right there. We were out going camping. We'll pick that, stick it in our pocket, use it to start a fire later. Actually, might be a little on the moist side. That's okay. Like I said, if we would pick it, stick it in our pocket, it would dry out basically while we continued hiking and be ready for use when we set up camp. Whew. What I'm looking for, these pigeons are flying around over here. What I'm looking for is something hanging out in here because they're gonna feel nice and safe in a spot like this. And should be nests up in the trees. Might be a little early. It's still spring, like I said, so it's gonna get hotter. This makes me laugh. The snowbirds are the ones that are down here right now, and they're going, "Oh my God, summer's already here!" Oh, hello. 3 in 1 trip. You see it? Oh, I'm way too high. Right there. Little head. That's a little tiny one. We've got another swamp puppy. You are tiny, tiny. That is the smallest swamp puppy we have come across right there. That thing's going to be, I don't know, 2.5 feet, maybe 3. So there we go. That's 3 swamp puppies on one walk. Pretty good results, I'd say. I was all paranoid that I'd let it go too long, that it was too late in the day, they'd all be warmed up and back in the water hiding for the day. Now, as that is a very, very young swamp puppy, I am paranoid. Because once again, I have no idea. If this thing's been hiding out back here its whole life, we could be in a little bit of trouble where it might not know to run away from us. Let's go find out, shall we? Well, as long as you're staying there, let's get another close up, yeah? Hi. How you doing, swamp puppy? If anyone's curious, we're about probably 9 feet apart. I'll zoom out so maybe I can give you some scale. My hand. Hi, pup. My hand is probably bigger than that thing's head. I'm curious. There's some fencing. I didn't know any of this was back here. I'm having a look around. So I'm sorry if the camera leaves it, but a little paranoid that one this small would still have a bunch of brothers and sisters, maybe even mommy around. Because, well, see if I can flip this and show you. There's kind of a little area back here that is low and moist looking, so a little paranoid I might be in the middle of gators. But this is a very cute little one. Oh, you're very tolerant. Beauty. Mama might be nearby. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of paranoid about. Not the time for that. But yeah, that is real pretty. You can see that black coloring, the striping. And it does sort of fade as they get older. The striping tends to fade away. And we're just a handsome little guy or girl. I don't know. If you want to sex a gator, you gotta stick your finger up their ass, basically. That's seriously how you figure it out. You have to catch it, flip it over, stick your finger inside, and see what sort of organs you feel inside of it. So, I wish I had a tape measure almost. You are so calm, I wonder. Nope, there we've crossed the line. Good swamp puppy reaction. It's like, fuck you, I'm out. There we go. Dominance established. I did not know there was a fence here. Switch back to the normal zoom. There's, I don't know what the hell, honestly. Fence. I don't think we can go around this side though. And the fencing just sort of becomes regular chain link here. So that, I just double check a map, but I think that's US 19 out there. But yeah, that was a good reaction. I'm glad the swamp puppy finally was like, okay, I'll leave. Because honestly, I wasn't sure. This is kind of an area. I do see some tire treads in the sand there. So obviously somebody's brought a cart out here. I'm sorry if the traffic is too noisy. I guess that's another test for the microphone and the VOD and stuff when I watch it back. Oh, I wonder, does this continue? Is it maintained? More of our friendly Spanish moss. Something chirping, but I can't see what it is. So yeah, this pond might be just full of a whole bunch of little babies like that one. Those are the type of gators that are still gonna share their hole. They don't really get territorial until they start getting bigger. And even when they start getting territorial, they won't do a whole lot to chase each other off unless they got a serious size advantage over the other ones. So, oh, there's a slide. Let's see where something gets in and out right there. And the reeds are broken down from whatever it was getting out into the deeper water. So, probably another swamp puppy entrance. It's in the back corner, it makes sense. What I'm keeping an eye out for would be basically if it was laying up in here somewhere, drying out. And also, the water. That's kind of the thing with Florida. I don't want to swivel you guys around as much as I'm swiveling my head around. I'm much more annoyed now that I'm on this side. I can hear all the traffic. No idea. I had no idea there was going to be that much traffic over here, so let's take a look. Yeah. Look at the map. I didn't realize I was going to be that close to this road. It's annoying. I hear a lawn service somewhere. Oh, it's a real pretty. Yeah, you're too tiny. I'll never pick you up with the camera, will I? Oh, fire ant. Big fire ant thing. Yep. Stepped over that one. Woo! Anyone's curious, I'm just wearing shorts and same sneakers, not cross, trail running shoes that I had last time. Not really equipped for full wilderness just yet. Feet are still healing. I have to say they do feel pretty good so far. Last time I definitely pushed myself a little bit too far. I was sore for a couple of days. I guess if you're on this side of the pond, that sign kind of makes sense. No swimming, no trespassing. Tell you what, you want to keep me out here, you better put a fence up. Well, I don't get, because there is, the fence between the road and us, but if this were to be like, I don't know, somebody actually wants to keep it fenced off, they need to fence it off from the neighborhood up there. And probably from behind us, where that trail was coming in. Yeah, trying to get out of here, get back to the other ponds, the quieter neighborhood. Guess I never realized how noisy it was until we got over here. Holy shit. So, kind of a success there. Went off into the deep, reedy gator hole, and we found a little tiny gator, which doesn't surprise me too much because the safety of the reeds are going to work in its favor there. It's got a smaller body. It's easier for it to push through the reeds. A couple big tilapia swimming out in the middle there. Dark ones. I don't know if the coloration, I gotta look at, I used to know more about the tilapia, and now I don't remember as much because essentially food fish, if you're into aquaculture, food fish does not make you any money. Food fish feeds people. That's about it. So you can grow catfish, tilapia, uh, all sorts of things that you would make a fillet of, and then find it in your local market. But essentially, if you do food fish, you're not really going to make a profit. You're probably going to cover your costs of raising the food fish and make just enough to keep on doing your business. But won't give you a lot to live on, put it that way. So we're coming back up to our tilapia filled pond with the million tilapia nests. There's our big one that was making a nest over here. Oh, I scared it off. I was going to try to get closer so I can get a shot of it. Basically, they grab the dirt with their mouth and then spit it out. And they do that over and over again to make these dips in the pond floor, where they will then do their breeding and have their eggs. There's that big dark one again. Right there. Hey, Godpack. Uh-oh, something happened here. Yo, Godpack is out here trying to... Oh, that's Nacho. Let me pull into the shade so I can see it better. It's really difficult for me to see in the sun. Find the fish. All right, what happened now? Oh, the chat keeps jumping when I'm trying to look at it. Crazy Salty, welcome in. Need to be nice. Huh? Heck. Raid. Oh, yeah, I gotta set up alerts and things. Think you can. Think yes, but no. Yeah, that's a good answer. Hello, welcome in everybody. Absolute. Hello. Thank you for a shout out. Did I give you a shout? No. Well, yes. You're welcome. Honestly, I have no idea if this thing is going to do shout outs or alerts. I gotta probably make a couple people mods for when I do this one. Still trying to figure out sound alerts, shout outs, and set up something so I will hear the alerts happen when people do raid the channel, stuff like that. Another pretty tilapia. Right there. And blue face, and the red tail. They are pretty fish. They're just invasive and kind of annoys me seeing them so well off in here. I want to go get my fishing rod and make myself some dinner. So if anybody doesn't know, tilapia used to be sold in the markets here as Nile perch because nobody knew what the fuck a tilapia was. And then over time, as people started to like eating the fish more, they went ahead and started calling it what it is, which is tilapia, because it's not a perch and it's not from the Nile. So I have no idea where they came up with the Nile perch name for them, but I guess it just made it sound exotic, so people wanted to eat it. Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw our little baby swamp puppy. We just came across a little tiny one back there. We found 3 so far on this trip. Actually, we're coming up on where we saw the biggest one we've seen, so we'll go see if it's back out sunning itself again. So this big pond over here, we had, I would say, probably a 7-footer. So that's on the young adult side. Yeah, we kind of, every one of the swamp puppies we've seen today has had the proper swamp puppy reaction. It has taken off and gone into the water. So I guess that might be a good way to end. We go over to the where we ran into that adolescent the last time out, and we'll see if it's still there. They do move around from watering hole to watering hole, but yeah, exclamation mark weather, Sun City Center is where I'm at. That should give you what my weather is. There's a big log there. It's the second time it threw me off. It looks like a gator chilling under the water. I don't know if you can see it. Kind of a light, it's kind of a light thing under the water. So kind of looks like the shape of a gator body. So they will do that. They'll go down and basically hold their breath, stay down, cooling off. It's daytime, that's what a swamp puppy does. Come out, get warmed up, go down into the water and cool off. They just regulate their body temperatures pretty much throughout the day. And then from dusk until dawn, they do their hunting. And they'll catch the ibis, the turtles, the fish, you know, whatever's in the pond with them. My other favorite, the people kind of tend to not expect from them, they can jump up. They'll put their tail on the bottom of the pond and they'll use it like a spring to push themselves up out of the water and grab birds out of those branches that are hanging over the pond. Pretty cool sight. I've seen it a few times. Yeah, we're just kind of training up, doing the walking. My feet are still healing, so last time I think I pushed myself a little too much, but it was a good thing overall. We got another tilapia blending right in here. Yep, right there in the middle. There's a tilapia just chilling. So really makes me want to be able to catch them and make some dinner. There's a bunch of them of good size in here. I'm hoping that our big swamp puppy from earlier has returned to its sunning itself location. So yeah, I got to work on being able to see the chat when I do this, because right now the screen is just kind of, I can see the picture pretty well, and I can vaguely see chat. I got to stop in the shade pretty much in order to read, and there's not a lot of shade out here, as you can see. So, but there's a couple ibis up there. See if I can zoom in. Those 2 white birds there, those are ibis. They got a long hooked beak. Basically, they dig down into the sand and eat bugs that are deep. And there's a black, looks like a duck in there as well. Don't see our swamp puppy from earlier. It's not to say it's not here. It might still be in the area. But yeah. Is this my place? Now, this is my parents' neighborhood, Sun City Center. It's like a retirement city. You have to be 55 or older to own property in here. And I'd have to double check with my dad. but I think he was telling me the average age in here is above 80. So I'm about half the age of the average. Bringing the average down. Nah, but I want to go slow. I want to go kind of quiet. Hopefully you guys will still hear me. But yeah, this is kind of nice. Last time all the lily pads were not blooming. Now the blooms are out. But this sort of grassy area up here, that's where we saw our bigger one. Or I would say it was a 7-footer. I'm kind of trying to move slower and quieter, because if it came back up to sun itself, that'd be great. But I don't think it did. Where would you go? So yeah, there's kind of a nice, it's basically sediment that has piled up in the corner and created a little peninsula or island. You can see it almost connects to the land, so it's still an island, but that was where we had a gator that was sunning itself, and that one was a good size. I'm trying to see, because basically if it's out here in all these lily pads, we'll never see it. It's just going to have its eyes and its nose sticking out of the water. But I'm hoping it might have come back up somewhere where we can see it. Of course, it has the whole pond to hide in. And it might have said, you know what, I'm warm enough. I'll go out and be deep for a while and cool off. Yeah, I think our gator has gone off to the deeper water. That's unfortunate. But we found 3 of them so far on today's walk, which is triple the last time. But the first and the last one were basically little adolescent gators. So I'm always a little more paranoid with the young ones, because the young ones still have to learn, essentially. You know, they've got to learn to be scared of people. And that little tiny baby that we came across back there, that let me get real close before it took off. So if anybody's curious, I will be posting the VOD up later. So I want to see how we did with the microphone, the gimbal, the switching to the landscape view here. And I've got to fix my watermark thing. It's supposed to have a transparent background and say Jacket, Florida down there in the bottom right corner, but it doesn't look like it's transparent to me. And I gotta see how that looks when I watch the VOD, and then try to figure out how I can move it within the app here, because I was trying to move it and it's so close to the bottom that the phone kept thinking I was trying to close the app. So that might not be recoverable. I might have to figure out a whole different thing to fix it. But yeah, this is a abandoned golf course. It's still maintained. Looks like they mowed it today. You can see the patterns in the grass. And we're heading, this is the 5th hole over here to my right. We're walking along the back side of it. Basically because there's another couple water holes, or I should say water hazards, on the 6th hole, what we're going to come up to next. So my plan at this point is to walk around the 6th hole if we can. There's some kind of truck and trailer up here. Maybe the guys who are mowing all this. Yeah, we might not be able to go over there. I see a guy by the truck. The trailer's down, so they're mowing that other hole. Okay. And if anyone's curious, That big log right there, that used to be a palm tree. That is hurricane damage. Basically, they chopped the top off of the palm tree, and they cut the roots away. And what they're supposed to do with that log down there is they chop it up into chunks, and then the hurricane debris removal people come and take it away. Problem being, as I was saying, in this neighborhood, generally speaking, the people in these houses are like 80 years old and up, so they're not exactly physically capable of taking care of the hurricane damage. I'll take a stop here in the shade. Shade is still really nice and cool. Oh, run, Jack, run, or give him shrimps. What? Bright day and water is so clean they can see me. Yeah. Where's your fishing rods? What you need? Yeah. I don't know though. A lot of these ponds they have signs and things. You're not allowed to fish in a lot of them. So, like I went by. We found some signs back there that said no trespassing and no swimming on them with a picture of a gator on them. And I was laughing because the one of them was facing the water. Like, are you warning the gators or are you warning the people? Uh, Bro, chilling in the warm, shallow water. Yeah, this is my place now. I saw that. That was where else? This is my parents' neighborhood. Exclamation mark weather, and Sun City Center is the name of the city. That should tell you what the weather's like here where I'm at. What happens to the house? Then you need to sell it or wait till you're 55. Well, yeah, my parents were to pass away, I'd have to sell it. I would not be allowed to own it. Yeah, but this is my parents' neighborhood. This is like I said, it's a big retirement community basically. Some of the people, since you're allowed to be 55, do still work, but most of them are retired and older. Absolute apply for a home, but Florida is hot. It's nice right now. Like I said, we're probably about like 80 degrees Fahrenheit, so I am brain farting 28 Celsius if I remember correctly. But that's why I added the exclamation mark weather command. You can put in exclamation mark weather and then type in the city name. I'm not entirely certain what all the different things you can put in there are, but it should tell you what the weather's like where I'm at. And I think that'll tell you both Fahrenheit and Celsius. Is it you? Or there's like hundreds of birds. Oh yeah, no, tons and tons of birds singing away, chirping away. We're gonna go back to the other water hole where this is the reason you're hearing the birds, because that's where I'm stopping. It's under all these trees, and the birds are just sitting in there singing away like, oh my god, there's somebody under our tree. Because look, I don't see anybody out here, and it's only springtime, but it's already too hot for most of them. The snowbirds that own houses in here are going to be packing up and heading home soon. Basically around Easter time is usually when they're all gone. Kind of the end of the season for them to be down here. It gets to be too hot for them. It's nice today. It's warm, but it's dry. Like the humidity hasn't come up yet. I'd be curious. I would guess maybe 30% humidity. It's a pretty dry feeling day. We don't get a lot of that down here. It's usually very humid, but that is our winter basically. We don't really get cold, we get dry. And then at the end of April, going into May, we start getting rainstorms. And the rainstorms will be pretty much every day. Depending on where you live, you can set your watch, set an alarm to it, and the storm will hit pretty much within 5 minutes of the same time every single day. And the storm might last 15 minutes, it might last 2 hours, it might last all night, you never know. But that's why the Tampa Lightning is our ice hockey team. We are the Lightning capital. I know that there's a couple of like uninhabited places that get more lightning, but we definitely get the most lightning for any place that people actually live in. This is nice. But yeah, this was our water hole where on my previous trip out here we ran into the little adolescent that scared me because it came right up to me and chirped at me, for fuck's sakes. Like, I don't know, I swear probably somebody in these houses here is coming out here and feeding the fucking thing, which is illegal. You're not allowed to touch them. You're not allowed to feed them. You know, that's where a long time ago, young Jack and his friends were out on a kayak trip, and we found little baby gators. I'm talking like, not even a foot long. And we didn't know any better. We were picking them up, taking pictures of each other, holding them and stuff like that. And then one of my adult friends was basically like, you're not allowed to do that. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was showing him the pictures. He's like, you better destroy all those pictures. And what? And he explained it to me that I could go to jail or prison, for handling a gator. And that's where I looked up the law. And the law says you're not allowed to molest gators. And at first I had the wrong idea in my head because I thought of the nasty definition of molesting something. And he quickly explained that no, it doesn't mean that, even though, yes, there is a headline somewhere, and you can find the story where some Florida man did indeed have sex with a gator. Apparently he was revenge fucking the gator for eating his dog. Good Florida man logic right there. And but yeah, it actually means you're not allowed to touch them or feed them. We got some more ibis along the shore over there. What I'm looking for is our little adolescent friend that was here last time. It might not be here. It might be out deep this time of day. They might be done warming themselves up, and they might be out staying in the deep water cooling off. They'll only come up for air basically, and then they go back down. As like I was saying, during the day, swamp puppies basically just regulate their body heat and wait for nighttime to come. They're very lazy in the daytime. Yeah. Some nice ibis though. I don't see our adolescent friend anywhere around. I could be wrong. It could be chilling along the bank somewhere, but I would bet it's gone deep for the middle of the day. Yeah, this was kind of my hope of finding one more swamp puppy here. I'm curious. So this area that's in front of me is kind of like the teeing off area for this old abandoned hole here. Last time we came out here, there was a sandhill crane down here. I don't think we'll find it, but I'm a little curious just to look at what's down here, because out here in the middle, I'm not on anybody's property, even though I'm surrounded by all these houses. I'm on the abandoned golf course, so they can't really say shit. Too bright. I gotta change the brightness of my screen on my phone. I cannot see chat for shit right now. So my apologies. I will catch up to it in a minute. I gotta go find a shady spot to park my butt for a minute. I was just wondering, because essentially nobody will bother anything out here, so the birds might come down here to hide. Nope, Nobody there. All right. And into the wind we go. That feels nice. Oh, holy shit, I missed it. You see him? That is a sandhill crane. Now, if you're curious, sandhill cranes are assholes. They're dumb. And he was probably laying down asleep in the shade of that palm tree when I walked by. He probably woke up because I walked by. Now, it is weird to find one by itself. They're normally in pairs. I'm going to step into the shade of this other tree because that'll allow me to read chat while we look at this dinosaur. Hopefully nobody's in here. Okay. Checking under the trees and things. Alright, scroll back up. Who's feeding the gators? Are they stupid? Yeah, they are. They're people who think, I don't know what, honestly. A lot of the people that are going to be living in here, they don't live here year round. They're from other parts of the country, and they don't know shit about being in Florida. It's just a place they live in for 6 months before they go home. Scroll back up. Need to make a PNG file to make it transparent. Oh, I did. I made the picture transparent. It looks transparent when I have it on the computer. It looked transparent when I brought it to the phone. It became not transparent when I put it into this app, basically. So, I don't know. I gotta look into that. Not really on good relationship. That's between you guys. Love Florida man sign. Don't feed the gators with hallucinogens. Yeah. That's the message about the birds. Nacho Mod. There you go. Nacho Mod's working. That's good. All right, Lurkon, time for chillax. Gator Simulator. Yeah, to an extent. What a story. Yeah, they're talking about the guy that was fucking the gator. That was something else, but it did happen. Wait, so if we get a mirror, we can shine at them and they will burn to a crisp. Need a waterproof case for camera and stick it into the water. I actually had a waterproof camera at one point, but yeah, right now actually the phone is water resistant. Whatever they don't call anything waterproof anymore because of course some asshole here will shove it in the water for 6 hours until it finally fails and go, look, it's not waterproof. So now everything's called water resistant and has different ratings. So stupid as that is, people will challenge it and go, you didn't make it waterproof. Just dumb, but it is what it is. You want Croc inside stream. Why not? It would be nice to see in person. Yeah, I would like to run into Croc, actually. I know how to handle them, or how to be around them, I should say. Yeah, this is mostly gators here. We do have both gators and crocs here in Florida. I think we're the only place in the world where the two live in our nature, naturally. American gators and American crocodiles. Oh, that must be a penguin. Oh shit, I was close. Assholes and dumb. His wife left him. Understand the stupid bird. I don't know. He might just be young. They tend to be solo until they find a mating partner, and that's when they kind of become more. Did I miss why this was abandoned? Didn't their community fees and green fees pay enough to keep it maintained? I have no idea. This was a 9-hole course, mostly par 3s and a couple par 4s. it was abandoned before my parents moved into the neighborhood, so there is an active private golf course in here as well, uh, basically over that way. I don't want to try to walk around that because that I would probably get chased off of. Um, I guess I can look into it sometime, see how tolerant they are. Waterproof isn't watertight. Yeah. When you lived on a golf course, all had an HOA that charged towards course maintenance. My parents do have an HOA here. Uh, as far as I know, it just takes care of the house. I don't think it does anything for the golf course. And then this abandoned course, I'm not sure who owns it. Now, I'm about to piss off the sandhill crane, so bear with me. This might get a little weird if anybody hasn't seen one of these birds do this before. You okay there, buddy? You look hot. You got the beak open, breathing hard. And you can see it just panting. Yeah, that's a sandhill crane. They are protected. And yeah, it looks like he's just trying to cool off. Got the beak open, panting. See the tongue inside the beak. You okay, buddy? You look a little like you need a different spot in the shade. Really sort of surprised it allowed me to get this close to it. Normally they would be jumping up and down, hooting and hollering, going crazy because, oh my god, the human came too close to me in my territory. So this is the actual one-time zoom. I'm just curious. We good? You just gonna tolerate me? Wow. Wait a minute, is your foot? Oh my god. The foot broken off? That's a stump sticking up. Oh my god. What happened to you? You've lost a foot. I feel sorry for you now. I'm sorry. What did you step in? So, we'll zoom back out to the normal zoom. You can see the one foot is kind of like in the grass here in front of the bird. And it looks like it's actually like sitting on its knees right now. And the other leg is what's sticking up out of the grass there. And it's a stump. I feel sorry for the bird. What did you step in? Oh, poor guy, poor girl, I don't know, but poor you. Hope you live, buddy. If there's a better angle there, you can see the foot on the one leg, and the other one actually is a stump. I can't believe that. It was gator bait. Could be. Could be a gator tried to get it. That's unfortunate. Feel sorry for the bird itself. I still pick on the species because the species is dumb and stupid, and I guess I don't know. The best way I could show that would be if I did a stream where I was like out driving around, because those birds will walk up to a road and like a road full of traffic and just go, "Yep, I'm crossing now." They've got the survival instincts of I don't know what. I think maybe because they've been protected for so long, they just know that they're protected. One, I was scared. The other two were like, "Yeah, we're good. He's just walking around us." See, basic thing of most. Oop, the other one give up. That one, he's like, I got it. I'm in the water. I'm good. But yeah, that's a lot of our Florida wildlife. There's something else. I don't know what those are. Little white herons or something. They've got a straight, sharp beak on them. But yeah, So a lot of our Florida wildlife, basically, it's gonna run away when it sees you. You know, it's not. There's not a lot here that really like comes after you. The crocs, of course. Um, some of the snakes can be aggressive. But that's one of the reasons I want to build up, get myself good and healthy, and start doing the wilderness expeditions like I used to do. And then we'll see if we can helicopter. Hey, I lost track of it there. That looks military. I don't know. Could be. Huh. I don't know. Normally, like the civilian ones or the hospital ones, they've got like lettering and colors and things. You can see real easily that it's, you know, something. That was like army green with like no markings that I could make out on it. So, pretty sure it was. Oh, I forgot. They put a helicopter thing in over at MacDill Air Force Base. So it probably is. By the way, and MacDill Air Force Base is an Air Force base in name only. All the branches have things there. And that just reminded me there is now a Army helicopter thing at MacDill Air Force Base. That's probably where it's flying to. Oh, we got one. Let's see if I can zoom in on him. Them bird's got something he's eating. They caught a little fish, maybe? Yep. Looks like he's got a little fish. He's trying to figure out how to get it down his mouth right now. So that is what we have. Basically, we did find 3 swamp puppies. 2 of them tinier than the one I'm looking for here. The one that we ran into the first time. And one that was bigger, so I think that's a good success. All the birds flying. Oh, the ones that he's flying with the fish in his mouth. I always love when they do that. I'm too greedy to let it go. Don't blame him. He doesn't carry it off, he probably won't eat. But yeah, our adolescent friend from this pond is either in a different pond or, oh look, golf balls. A pair of golf balls there. Nope, and another one. There's actually 3 right here. It makes sense. So the teeing off area was back there. And I'd imagine that this little hill right here is probably where the green and the putting area was. This is hole 4 of the abandoned golf course. And this was sort of the watering hole where we ran into our first swamp puppy on the first IRL stream. And I was kind of hoping he'd be around again, because I really wanted to show the difference in the behavior of this gator versus the other one that we ran into. The other 3, I should say, that we ran into today. The other 3 responded the right way. They took off, they dove in the water, and they popped up to keep an eye on us. You know, that's how a swamp puppy is supposed to behave. The one that we ran into here on the first IRL stream, motherfucker came right up to me and chirped. Now, I don't know, I gotta look into like how long they can chirp for, or if it's something they can do all their lives. I don't know. I have never heard anything but baby gators do the chirp. So that really threw me off. I did not know it could chirp, you know? And to have it swim right up to me like, hey buddy, how's it going? I was like, what is wrong with this gator? And it made me very paranoid, because I think it really did expect me to feed it or something. I want to take a walk down to our last watering hole. The other one's kind of off because of the guys doing the mowing over there, but I think this has been fairly successful. Like I said, we've come across 3 swamp puppies of various sizes. They've all had the proper response. And I will kind of look at Google Maps some more and try to figure out where there's more, because there's all kinds of ponds and things around this neighborhood. And I know I've seen some good sized gators here. I am not where I thought I am. I need to go down that way. Let's catch up. So I'm in the shade and I can see it for a moment. It is too hot to care about me. 80 27 Celsius. Oh, I was wrong. Okay, not 28, 27. Fair enough. Weather Tampa. Okay, yeah. Probably about the same here. Sun City Center is just close. 1 sub equals 1 happy bird. Do it, Jack. Piss him off. He attacks, we eat bird today. No. I honestly had no idea the bird was injured, and a normal response from me getting that close to the bird, flip this around. So normal response, that bird is going to jump up and down, flapping his wings, hooting and hollering like crazy, like get the hell away from me. And they will like try to beat you with their wings, and kick you with their legs. Obviously, he's a leg short for that fight right now, but yeah, I did not expect that. I feel really bad for that bird. I don't know what happened to it. That's a gator is a good theory. That's probably really the only realistic thing, is that he probably did step into the mouth of a gator, basically. But yeah, let me flip this. Yeah, there you guys go. I'm trying to catch up. Okay, I got to definitely work on the chat situation, because essentially the chat is like underneath a camera thing on the left side of my screen. Poor bird, call the vets. I will look into what I can do about that when I get back to the house. I will look into like if there is somebody I can call and say like, hey, there's a wounded sandhill crane over here. Looks like a gator bit its leg off or something. I have no idea. I know they're protected, so I'm pretty sure somebody will come and like, capture the bird and do their best to nurse him or something, give him a sanctuary to live in or something. I don't know. But yeah, I will definitely look into that, because that's like I said, just too bad. Snakes are aggressive if you come close. No, we have a few water moccasins come to mind, copperheads, things that they're a little territorial, actually. So sort of a combination of, yeah, you came close, but like I've seen a water moccasin drop out of a tree and swim after somebody. They're actually kind of going out of their way sometimes. But shouldn't run into much out here. I don't know. It's always possible. Anything's possible in Florida. Usually you're going to find like the black racers. It's a non-venomous snake. If you see black racers around, usually means you're good. You're in the clear, because they will outcompete the venomous snakes for food. But yeah, we've got canebrake and diamondback and pygmy, a few different rattlesnakes. Got coral snakes, which I don't know. Coral snakes are like, I don't know, a unicorn or something. Pretty rare thing to come across. Always made me laugh because I learned the rhyme very well, and it's based on the coloring of the snake. I always kind of thought, oh, big old soft shell just went down at the edge of the pond. Let's see if he comes back up. All right, so we got a little blue heron, it looks like, over there. Little skinny little guy standing in the grass. And yep, there's the turtle. Not sure. There's actually 3 turtles. I don't know if you guys can see them real well or not. There are 3 turtles sticking their heads out of the water over there. Camo ELC. Yeah. But yeah, going back to the coral snake thing. There's a rhyme they taught us in school. Red on black, friend of Jack. Red on yellow, kill a fellow. And I don't know if anybody knows coral snakes. They're kind of small. So when I've gone to, I don't know, say like the zoo or something where they actually have them, and you see how small they are, and you kind of realize how close you'd have to be to make out the difference in the color. Soft shell. Right out there. See if I can. Yeah, there's the head sticking up there in the middle. That's a soft shell. So if anybody doesn't know soft shells, they're kind of a big floppy turtle. There's more over here again. I'm guessing everything around here is soft shell then, because that seems to be all I've seen. The very first pond we went to, there were 2 humongous soft shells. These are pretty big, but not as big as the first ones we saw today. Yep, soft shell and soft shell. Oh, that's nice. See if we can get a better picture. So hard to zoom on this thing, throws me off so bad as to where I was looking a moment ago. But yeah, there's like one over here, one right here, another one there, another one behind this one in the middle. A whole bunch of them in here. Soft shells, unfortunately, are probably one of the most alert turtles that we have down here in Florida. Those things will take off like the moment I get anywhere near them. So what I was trying to do is go back to where this other watering hole was back here. See if we find one more swamp puppy today. I have no idea. My uptime on this screen somewhere? Oh, near to 2 hours. Good. Hitting my goal. That was my goal, to do as long or longer than I did the first time. So we did about 2 hours on the first one. Just trying to get used to the walking and the standing and the carrying the gimbal and the phone in my hand the whole time. Got to build up slowly but surely. I don't want to push myself too far, but I want to be able to basically start taking you guys on real wilderness adventures here. Hopefully, like around my birthday at the end of May, we'll build up enough to do it. That'd be a good birthday trip. Go out, go camping. Sounds like fun to me anyway. If anybody doesn't understand what I'm talking about, what I mean is actual wilderness. We might not have cell phone signal. I have thought about that. I might just record the video basically and post it on YouTube or something. All depends. I'm looking into solutions for the lack of cell phone signal, but a lot of it is impractical or does not work with a backpacking setup. Basically, the solutions I find are based on you have a vehicle, and I'm not usually camping in my truck. You know, I'm camping in a tent, and I'm usually like, you know, deep into wilderness, so there is no signal, there is no cell phone, there's no roaming, there's no emergency surfaces, none of it. So this is our final watering hole. or what was a water hazard for the first hole, I think, of the golf course here. And there is a dark shape. Nah, I think that's just dead reeds. Nope. I think we've officially gotten into the afternoon time when the gators are going to be basically staying deep in the water. They're going to come up, get some more air, and go back down. They're going to stay cool at this point. Like I said, during the day, they're lazy. They just regulate their body temperatures and wait for nighttime to come. But yeah, plus having made that discovery about that sandhill crane, I do want to get back to the house and try to figure out, who I report that to, and if somebody can get out here and take care of the bird, uh, before it gets too late in the day and they're like, we'll just find it tomorrow. And now that I've seen that it's missing one leg, or a chunk of one leg, pretty sure that's the same one that we saw when we did the first IRL stream. And it kind of explains why it's by itself. If it did have a partner, the partner probably gave up on it. Kind of the thing of nature, Oh, I feel something stinging my foot. I think I might have missed, or I should say, not missed, a fire ant nest somewhere. Oh, that stings. Oh, God, don't tell me. Oh, don't tell me I got a fire ant in there. If anybody's wondering, we got fire ants everywhere, by the way. Essentially, ant nest. If anybody's wondering, I'm literally walking through like nothing but non-stop ant nests out here. So, was hoping for the final swamp puppy, but looks like the 3 we found will be the 3 we were able to find. The fuck is a fire ant? Is it like hot sauce that bites? No, they're little red ants. I don't know why. A lot of people tend to think they're big or something, but actually they're very small. And just like your regular ant, but they're like a pissed off fire orange kind of color. And they sting you. A lot of people think ants bite. Ants don't bite. They've got stingers in their butts. And now one ant basically just crawls on you. If it gets pinched between your clothing or your shoe and your foot, for example, it's just going to sting you out of defense. Now, let's say you or me, back when I joined the Army, we were going through training. It's hot, tired, not thinking anymore. And basically, like under the shade of a tree, I sat my happy ass down for a briefing on how to search vehicles or something like that. And what I didn't notice was I had sat right next to a big fire ant mound. And kind of the cool but bad thing about fire ants, they have a tactic for taking down large prey where they all climb on board you and they communicate through like these chemical signals. So they're like silently telling each other, not yet, not yet, wait till everybody gets here. And then once they think there's enough of them to take your ass down, they send out a different chemical signal, and it's pretty instantaneous, and the whole fucking group starts stinging you at the same time. Well, that's what happened to me. And I had ant stings from the waist down, everything. And I found out because I got up, was walking to the next briefing site out in the field where we were doing the training, and all of a sudden, from the waist down, my body was just on fire. And I'm dancing and doing everything, trying to shake the ants off, having no idea how bad it is. dove into a porta potty and like ripped up in my uniform. Like, oh my god, just fire ants all over my lower body. And they put me in the hospital for 3 days. I always remember that because the drill sergeant drove this 2.5 ton truck. I mean, he was drifting this thing on the way to the hospital. And I was sitting there just sort of out of it from all the venom that was coursing through my body. And, I'm watching like my arm break out in hives. I'd never seen hives before. I didn't know what they looked like. And I stopped for a moment. I was like, oh, that's cool. What's that? He's like, oh, you're breaking out in hives. And he just floored it, got me into the hospital. Yeah, there's a bird with the fish. He's still trying to figure out how to eat it. But yeah, he got me into the hospital, got me into the emergency room. There's a still trying to choke that fish down, dipping it in the water, trying different angles. But yeah, he got me into the emergency room. There's like a line of, I don't know, a dozen people standing there waiting to check in. And the drill sergeant walked up and down the line of them, looking them over. And I have no idea what I looked like, but he looked over everybody that was in that line. And he was like, how about you soldiers step aside and let a soldier with a real problem get through? And they all turned and looked at me, and every single one of them, their mouths just dropped wide open. And they hauled my ass up. There were a couple other soldiers that came with me. They hauled me up to the counter. They asked for my ID. I got my ID out, handed it to the drill sergeant. And the world flashed white. I always remember that. It didn't go black, it flashed white. And I don't know how, I just knew something was done. And I looked at him and I was like, I'm about to go down. And as soon as I finished the word down, it was kind of this like drunken, way that I said it. But as soon as I finished saying the word, it was like I was a puppet and somebody had cut all my strings. My body just collapsed. And thankfully, they were close enough, they caught me. Somebody from the back brought out a wheelchair. They wheeled me into this operating room and cut my uniform off and got all the fire ants off of me. And I think at some point they gave me a shot of adrenaline or something that works like adrenaline, because all of a sudden I was like, woo! I was alert, I was awake, and I was back. And I was like, oh, thank you. And they're asking me, they're like, all right, we think we've got you stabilized. Is there anything else we can do for you? And I was like, yeah, they're in my boots. So they got my boots off, and I don't know, it was like a fucking 100 ants came out of each of my boots. That's when I learned how bad fire ants can be. And that's why I don't really fuck with them. Yeah, we've got them everywhere here in Florida, all the way up through the Carolinas and the US. They are a badass little tiny ant. And I learned, I always thought, since it happened to me, I'd be more immune to it. And the doctor was like, no, you're going to be more susceptible to it for the rest of your life. So now anytime any kind of ant stings me, I get like a little, what's called a pustule thing. Oh! Something big just flew into my head. Big bug. I think it's gone. Whew. I heard big wings. I think hopefully it was one of these dragonflies. I'm always paranoid about that one too. So there was a time I had a bug land on my neck, and without thinking about it, I just swatted the fucker off my neck. Well, what I didn't know was it was like a bee or a wasp. And when I swatted it, I smacked the stinger straight into my neck. Now, I'm not allergic to those, thankfully. As far as I know, I'm not allergic to anything. But, I think just because of where it was, I had a bad reaction. And I got lucky because where was I? Oh, I was getting my degree at the time. And in the parking lot of the university, they had one of those blood drive vans there. And my friends basically sat me down and went over to the blood drive van and explained to them what happened, because obviously there's nurses in there to help with drawing the blood and stuff. And they basically gave them, my friends, like some orange juice, some cookies to bring to me. And that's where I learned, if something lands on me, let it be. Fight that instinct to swat it away. So, guessing our adolescent friend is gone. I'm just trying to see if our sandhill crane is still here. So when I go back to the house, I can basically be like, it's, exactly here. Because with one leg, I'm guessing that thing's not moving a lot. Yep, still there. He just popped his head up. There you go, behind the dead palm tree log. Sandhill crane's still there. So I think we'll head back to the house, and I'll go report that in, figure out how to report it in, and do that. Hopefully everybody's had a good time. Well, I keep doing this IRL stuff. It's kind of fun. I love doing the wilderness side of Florida. I don't really like being in the neighborhood, but with my feet being the way they are, this is about what I can manage right now. And check the time, 2 hours and 10 minutes or so. All right, cool. Went longer than we did the first time. My feet feel better than they did the first time, so we call that good progress. I'm going to stop in the shade over here and try to catch up on chat. I do have to look into fixing this. This is, if anybody is curious, I am still learning how to work the gimbal, how to work this app that I'm streaming it through, all this stuff. It's all a big learning experience. Doing the PC side, pretty much got that down. This IRL stuff, this is very, very different. So learning experience, it will get better as we go, and hopefully you guys will come back to see more. I am trying to catch up. Okay, back. There's a lot of chat. Sorry. 3 most angry pests in Florida: young red wasps, yeah. Chiggers, sand gnats, yeah. Fire ants. I think, I don't know, to me, I do probably mosquitoes and no-see-ums at the top of the list. If everybody's wondering, a no-see-um is a gnat that can bite you, and they're so small you don't see them, hence no-see-um. Okay, there's the fire ant question. You don't want to know. Hurts 2 times more than a bee sting and longer. Yeah, they're pretty rough things to deal with. Judging by the sting in my foot, it might not have been an ant. I'll check it out when I get back in the house. Whom rated you to get 187 viewers? That would be Godpack, Mr. Stranger Danger. Welcome in as well. Oh wait, are those like an Indiana Jones? Ants from Hell, got it. Yeah, it's just, I have fun stories about a lot of, one of my drill sergeants called me bug bait because I don't know what it was. When I was up there, I did run into everything. The hornets, the black widows, the fire ants. I had pretty much everything that was there take a swipe at me. Most of it I handled well, but the fire ants, that was a complete blindside. I was so exhausted, I just didn't care. And then when they lit me up, whew, that was a different experience. Let's see if I can see the chat better this way. Alrighty. Oh, I remember that. Remember the ants from Indiana Jones, not the poop. Yeah. He's a natural. I wish. But yeah, I hope the IRL stuff will grow more. I do like doing it. They show cleavage. No. Should have seen. Yeah. Same, do wasps and bees there. If there are more, if the queen is near, you get stung. Yeah. Well, we got all kinds of bees and wasps here. We always kind of crash with these humongous wasps. Mud dabbers, however you pronounce it. And people get really intimidated by them, but like they don't touch humans. Like they do not bother humans at all. So, fucking bastards. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's a mofo that flew away with the fish. Yeah, that was kind of cool catching up with the same bird again. I have a picture from that. You want to see it? No, I have no pictures from that time. That was early, mid 2000s. Or the fucking gator. Fuck, how are there dragons in Florida? That's the thing. We live essentially in kind of like Jurassic Park, but the modern Jurassic Park, where we have what survived of the dinosaurs living here, both the gators and the birds. Jack almost died by Florida animals, not an army. Yeah. Oh, I got a warning about the power of my phone. I was curious about that. It's hit 20%. So at least it warns me. And we know we gotta end or charge it up now. Good to know that it does that. Last time I got down to, I think, 22%, and I hadn't seen a warning about it, so glad to see that it does do that. Dragonflies, Florida. Yeah, no, I love dragonflies because, yeah, they eat mosquitoes every stage of their life. A larva of a dragonfly eats mosquito larva. An adult dragonfly eats adult mosquitoes. So, just not enough of them because we have way too many. Hope all ants were collected and safely returned. Poor bird column now. Yeah, I'm going to go take care of figuring out how to call whatever kind of services need to come and take care of that sandhill crane back there. He's obviously not going far. He's been, when did I do that last stream? On the 10th, I think it was. So it's been like a week, and that bird is in like the same place we saw it last time. But last time I didn't get close enough to see it. It was missing a foot. So yeah, we'll go take care of that. Eat it if it's still there in 3 hours. What is this bouncing sound? No idea. I'm gonna watch the VOD back later, see how all this came out. Well done. Can't wait for my birthday camping show. Yeah, I'm hoping I feel up to it. My feet are still healing. So this is, like I said, I'm learning how to do all the IRL stuff, how to work the gimbal here. Like right now it's in reverse view, so right is left and left is right as far as I'm concerned. Do. And yeah, we'll get there. Yeah, no seams you meant by, okay, you missed what you meant by sand fleas. Okay. It's my mic against my neck. Oh, was this doing a bounce or something then? Okay. Bumblebees. Bumblebees are nice. I don't really have bumblebees. I've never really had any bad incidents with. I don't think they bother humans much either, unless you just smell good. But call them fast. Yeah, I need to go in there and do that. Dehydrated, hungry for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna go take care of the sandhill crane if I can. Try to figure that one out. So let me pop it around on the ibis over here because I don't know how to raid with this. I would love to raid you guys off somewhere. Nope, that doesn't do it. Looking for an option here real quick. Show you the setup you had for things, the camera stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I've got to work on the IRL. Hide chat, enter text for chat. I don't know. I can't see who's on though. Yeah, I'm gonna have to add, probably give a couple of you guys moderator status and let you guys take care of doing raids and stuff for me because I cannot see a way to do that right now on my end. So we'll say goodbye to the ibis and goodbye to everybody in chat. Thank you all for coming by. Hopefully you'll come back for some more IRL, and we will be back with some more swamp puppies and things in the future. But I'm gonna get back to the house so I can go call in that bird and see if we can get some help. And I'll try to keep everybody updated on that. I don't know if they'll even like talk to me or not. So basically, we'll just assume if the bird's gone, it's okay. Wishful thinking. Anyway, hopefully y'all had a good time. Go watch people. Go check out IRL. You know, it's fun. I like this. I was inspired by the 88th Baron. It's a Irish IRL streamer, and that's pretty much what made me think, oh yeah, I used to go on wilderness trips. I'm gonna start trying to see if I can figure out how to do this and stream it. So that's the goal for the IRL side of it. And we'll continue to do tanks and other games here and there. So anyway, hopefully everybody had a good time, and we will see you the next time. Bye bye.